Yes, indeed. Just having a bit of a think, actually, and in the background before. In fact, we're hearing it now, the great theme of LA Law. At the moment, I'm thinking, great American shows of the past. One of my all-time favourites was a half-hour slot in the 70s and 80s about a radio station called WKRP in Cincinnati. Phil, do you remember that one, mate? Great sounds at the end there, and old Howard Hesseman, Venus Flytrap, the DJ and all that. Remember that?
Only just. WKRP in Cincinnati. Wasn't Lonnie Anderson in that? Old Burt Reynolds' estranged wife, the one who's now divorcing him because he has a bad wig or something.
Absolutely true, yes. Film Barnes hitting the right chord as usual. Yeah, Lonnie Anderson, she was like the glam girl of the show. And we had, who did we have in it now? Now, there was a guy in it called Howard Hesseman, who played one of the DJs, and he's Howard Hesseman. He's been in a few films. Sort of a grey-haired actor with sort of a grey moustache as well. And then there was a DJ called Venus Flytrap. And does anybody remember Les the Weatherman? Do you remember Les the Weatherman? Oh, right, yeah, there was this guy in it with specs. He was like Ralph from Dear John, an American version. And I always remember one show was absolutely hilarious because he claimed to be making a live broadcast from a helicopter. And he was actually he had to make the sound. And he just sort of stood there and he goes, "Hi there, this is Les making a live broadcast from a helicopter." And the sound of the helicopter, he just sort of patted his chest and he kind of made it really sound like a helicopter, you know. And funny enough, I watched about 7,000 episodes of that show, and I always remember the time Les made it sound like a helicopter. And there was, I think there was also some smart guy called Andy who was in charge of the whole thing. WKRP in Cincinnati. Are you a fan of American programs, Phil? What about soap, things like that? Do you like those type of things?
Well, Sunshine, I think the American, when it comes to sitcoms, the Americans beat the British hands down. There's no doubt about it. Things like Cheers, Taxi, Moonlighting, that was a sitcom, really, wasn't it? The Yanks are definitely the best when it comes to television and films when it comes to that.
Oh, well, I'm sure a few people would disagree, and I'm sure many would agree with you there. One thing, you mentioned Taxi, you mentioned Cheers, and you mentioned, what was the other one you mentioned there? Moonlighting, yeah. The thing which stands out from all those three was the great theme music. Now, three absolutely classic tracks. Al Jarreau did Moonlighting. Taxi was one of that great American piano sound. And what was the other one we were mentioning? Cheers, yeah, that is one of the best themes that's ever been on a TV show. Everybody Knows Your Name, indeed, yeah. But yeah, Americans, yeah, they do some great soap operas and they do some wonderful theme music. And what do we get in Britain? Coronation Street. Neighbours. Oh, it's Australian, but it's still rubbish. Well, and The Upper Hand, which is a total rip-off of the Dynasty theme, only played in a cheap way. We could certainly learn a lot from Americans when it comes to theme music, I think. Filmmaking, though, surely, I thought the British film industry was the best in the world, Phil.
That's a lot of shit, if you don't mind me saying. The British make films that nobody wants to see, apart from the British, unfortunately. That's the way it is over here. The Americans know what they're doing. They make commercial films like Alien and Aliens, and they make blockbusters. They make the best thrillers like The Fugitive, like Presumed Innocent. They do all the big movies. The British make crap like David Lean's Passage to India and Scandal. I'm sorry, but John Hurt's always in them. I'm sorry, but the British cannot make films or make TV programs to save their lives. The one exception when it comes to British television, keep that tune going there. Thank you, Mr. Mr. O'Reilly. You're doing really well. I haven't finished yet, but some of the independent British companies who now make productions for the BBC, like One Foot in the Grave, which is brilliant, I must say. But it's not made by the BBC, is it? The BBC is British Bullshit Corporation.
Tremendous, mate, yeah. Phil Barnes there with his rundown on the British film industry. As far as I'm concerned, nobody can beat David Putnam. Well, he couldn't 25 years ago anyway. Oh dear, Chariots of Fire, what a flop.
What was that guy in the Oscar? Colin something or other. When the Chariots of Fire was coming up for the Oscar nomination for Best Film, and he was saying, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" What was his name? Colin Welland.
What an asshole.
The British are coming and we're still waiting. Anyway, now on to actually a singer who's been an actor. He's made great films like
Buster.
And
Buster.
and
Buster.
yes.
And frauds. Very appropriate. He can't act to save his life.
Old Film Collins himself. Anyway, I think you should stick to the music, Phil, and to record great songs like Easy Lover, number 1 from the 80s, recorded with Philip Bailey. This is a live version, recorded with a session singer.